Mark Tortuga longed for the day that he would take leadership of Shell Corp from his older brother Steve. Mark was jealous of Steve and certain that there were company secrets still being hidden from him. Though Mark had everything he could ever need, power was all he craved. Mark was not the only non-Nanotopian that shared this opinion of Shell Corp's position in the world. A sizable group had grown around Mark, hoping to wrest control of the company and advance their dreams of domination. With the support of his group, many of them employees, Mark combed the Shell Corp restricted files looking for an advantage. After much work, he came upon an oddly generic file name, The Future. Inside, he found documents referring to something called Shellinium. Amazingly, as he read on, the words of his father and grandfather spoke of a cave beneath the shell, filled with a Shellinium, possessing qualities yet to be quantified by science. Emboldened and enraged that this knowledge had been kept from him, Mark prepared to lead a violent takeover of the company. Using the growing group of disgruntled Shell Corp employees to set the stage, who were clear to commence their move. The next morning, Mark entered the Shell Corp conference room for their morning meeting. Steve Tortuga sitting at the head of the table as the CEO should. With him as always was head of security, Scale, and his automaton shell soldiers. As Steve Tortuga was about to start the meeting, Mark ordered the shell soldiers to seize Steve and any remaining loyal members of his inner circle and transport them to the Shellinium chamber. Before going himself, Mark and head of security Scale emerged from the shell to attend a planned press conference, telling the public that his brother would be taking a leave of absence. Meanwhile, outside the Shellinium chamber, the shell soldiers were attempting to gain entry. Not only was the chamber located deep within the shell, but it also had one of the most impenetrable doors ever created. By the time Mark and Scale arrived on the scene, it was clear the soldiers would not be able to gain entry. This left Mark with no other choice. Slowly emerging from the darkness of the hallway was the Doctor. The longest tenured employee of Shell Corp, he had been in charge of developing their most secret projects for decades. The Doctor was carrying a container that had an intense green glow. As he approached, Steve Tortuga knew what was in the container and that his resistance was futile. Steve warned his brother Mark that he did not understand the power of Shellinium and that it needed to be used for the good of all beings of Nanotopia. This enraged Mark even further. Having had to execute an exhaustive search just to learn of its existence, Mark refused to believe his brother. The Doctor approached head of security Scale with the glowing container, opening the secret compartment in the back of his armour and inserting Shellinium from the container. Scale visibly grew in power. Feeling at this point unstoppable, Mark revealed his plans that had been set in motion. Using Shellinium and the other vast resources of Shell Corp, he planned to rule Nanotopia. All that stood in his way was the chamber door. Mark turned to Scale in his new form. Every ruler needs a general. So General, do us the honour! In an instant, the newly dubbed General Scale tore the door from the wall. Along with it, the peace that had for so long been unbroken on Nanotopia.